Good evening, parents, and welcome to Multicultural Literature, brought to you by not one, but two teachers, Mrs. Rice, that's me, and Mrs. Hart, who couldn't be in here with me today to record this because we are practicing social distancing. And since we want to speak without masks on, it's not prudent for us to be together. So I'm going to speak on behalf of both of us. So before I tell you about the class, let me tell you about Mrs. Hart, who also happens to be my best friend since we're 19 years old. We consider ourselves to be the dream team. Between the two of us, we have 54 years of teaching. We're both on our 27th year. We always dreamed to be at the same school together, where she got her start at Milton and she came to Cambridge. I got my start at Chattahoochee, then I went on to Northview, then I went on to open up Johns Creek, and I landed here in 2015. And it took several more years before we got to team teach together. So this is our second year of team teaching together. And if you look at the little picture over here on the right, you can see how far we go back. That's a picture of our children together on Halloween. So that's just sort of fun. So anyway, we love teaching. We enjoy working together. One of us is the content specialist. The other one is the instructional specialist. And together we make sure that we deliver our education to our students through a variety of learning styles and through a variety of different activities. Honestly, team teaching is where it's all at. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the class. So people always say, what do you mean by multicultural? Well, here's what we always tell people. Multicultural basically means that, look, we all come from a variety of backgrounds. We all identify with many different cultures. So multicultural means you have one part or one of your feet in where you're from, where you were born, in one culture, but maybe you have a foot in another culture too, right? I was born here in America, so I am part of the American culture, but my parents and grandparents, my grandparents were born in Italy. And so my mom was raised very Italian with traditions from Italy. I was as well. So not only do I identify with those two cultures, but I identify with other cultures, right? Because I'm a female, because of other distinctions about me. So that's what we mean by multicultural. So when we bring that together and we start talking about multicultural, we have it broken down into different themes that we'll be discussing with your students. We always start with identity because as our students are getting ready for next year, this is their senior year, some of them will be going on to 2-year schools, some of them 4-year schools, some of them will make other choices, go out into the workforce, perhaps do a trade school. Wherever they're heading next year, we like to talk to them about their identity. They're going to start writing their college essays. They're going to start looking at and thinking about their behaviors and their values and their beliefs, especially as they try to promote themselves for their future. So we talk about identity and what it means. Who do you identify with? How do you identify? We talk about culture and belonging, journey and discovery, social justice, and of course, the one thing that's brought us all together in this country, the experience of immigration. Major works. So there are 3 major works that we will do with your students that all seniors are doing this year. One is a book called Open Mic, Riffs on Life Between Cultures in 10 Voices. What's so great about that book is it's 10 short works by a variety of different voices who ascribe to all kinds of culture. And it's a humorous way, it's a humorous approach to open up discussion about identity, about gender, about race, about ethnicity. So your students will probably really enjoy that. Then we'll also do a couple of the classics, Hamlet and Frankenstein. Those are the only major works we'll do. Everything else will be choice for your students as far as major works. They'll get to choose what types of books they want to read. So we're going to give them lots of voice. And then, of course, it's English class, so we'll also do a variety of poems and short stories and song lyrics, and we'll bring in some digital media. We'll watch a few films. So we're really going to give them a broad view of literature. We're going to visit all different types of genres. All right, so let's talk about what we feel is really important for our students' mastery. So we believe and we think that the best way for our students, especially at this age, to demonstrate mastery is by giving them some choice in a lot of the summative assessments that they will present for us. They'll have 9 summatives this year. We've already completed the first one. It was all about identity. Students were given the opportunity to put together a PowerPoint or a video or a sway, some sort of presentation that told us a little bit about them, what inspires them, where they're from, a favorite quote they live by, a piece of abstract art that talks about their culture, a song that resonates with them. So we did a really good job listening to them, and they did a very good job with this presentation. So that's how we started. So we already have one down. So we'll have Socratic seminars and photo essays. Of course, students will also have to write essays. We'll have a few each semester. That's a non-negotiable, but we'll guide them through it because we want to make sure that they're able to express themselves through their writing. So again, grades will be based on 9 summative assessments. So students have to complete 8 of those assessments in order to successfully complete senior year. I promise you, even though they're seniors and we want them to have some autonomy and we want them to advocate for themselves, we will be in touch if we find any reason that they're falling behind or they're not turning in work. We're not going to have any surprises for the end because we know how important this class is for their graduation and their plans. Before I stop, I do want to say this. I know that times are tough, and I know that we're all in this together, and everybody keeps saying that. Mrs. Hart and I have a passion, a shared passion for what we do. We love it. After 27 years, the two of us are so excited to be with students, and it's the one thing in our lives right now that feels really normal, even though it's a little abnormal, is when we engage with your students and we talk to them. We're going to get through this, and we're excited to work with them every day, and we're going to show up and we're going to give them our best. So I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and I want to thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit more about us and the class. Talk to you soon. Thank you.